Hi, my name is Terry Wada. I am a service designer with Collabo Creative, a local service design company here in Indianapolis. And we've been holding these lunch and learns called Drive Community Engagement by Design. And what we're focusing on is really how do you increase community engagement? One of the big things that we cover in this lunch and learn is about meeting people where they're at. So if you're wanting to increase participation from your community members or your residents in the areas that you're serving, you really need to figure out how you meet them where they're at. One tactic that we'd like to share with you is to build a community persona. So if you're in marketing or you have a business or you're on the business side of an organization, you're probably really familiar with personas. You build them for your customers to understand what their life looks like so that you can make sure that you're resonating with them, that you're speaking to them, and that your service provides a value for them. As a community member or as a community-focused organization, you can do the same thing for that community member. You can look at how do you understand what does this community member's life look like? And that all starts with building a persona. And that becomes really important because every single person has that kind of background. They have their lifestyle. They have a specific kind of environment that they exist in. They have time restraints, right? And they have all different kinds of activities that they're involved in and people that they engage with on a regular basis. And then when you build out what that looks like, it helps you really understand how you can meet them where they're at. So how do you do this? Well, we're a tool-driven company, so we like to make all these tools and templates, toolkits, whatnot, frameworks. If you follow us, you'll know. So what we do is we like to think about how you create a person by creating a realistic, fictitious person. And I know it sounds a little ironic and a little counterintuitive, but really what we're talking about is building a character. So I'm sure you've seen a movie, I'm sure you've read some books, they are full of characters, and each of these characters have a whole backstory. They're rich characters, right? They have a history, they've had conflict, they have villains in their backstory. They came from a location, maybe they moved to a new location, and all of this is included in what that person or that character's life looks like. So what we like to think about when we build personas is, what does that character look like? What is their name? What is their, how old are they? What do they look like? What's their ethnicity? What's their education, as well as, where they live, how much money they make, the areas and the neighborhoods that they live in, the people they're surrounded by, all of those things is what we start to look for. And we build those out in this persona. Some of the other things that we look for is the soft side. So their goals, their drives, their desires, what are they dreaming about? Those are all part of building that character and building that persona. And more on the, very logistical side is looking at, what does a day in their life look like? Because if you wanted to connect with someone, really understanding what they're doing on a day-to-day basis is going to help you identify those opportunities for you to create engagements or activities that you can connect with them. And that's where you're going to see that increase in participation, right? So for example, if your community member uses mass transit, and if you're here in Indianapolis, we hope you're going to be using the red line, right? And one of the opportunities that you could look at is they're sitting on that bus for however many minutes it takes them to commute. You could create a tool that allows you to capture information during that time. So maybe you give them a journal to write in that you put prompts in that they can respond to. Or maybe you put one of your researchers on that bus and have them do some interviews, some really quick questions that they can ask in about 5 to 10 minutes and gather that information. And so in that way, you're really going into where people are at, and you're meeting your community members in the spaces where they are at regularly. And by doing that, you're going to easily increase that participation because you're going to them and not asking them to come to you. So if you want to try this out, we have we provided a link below so you can download our free persona builder one-pager. It's based off of a tool that we use in our office to build out these personas. It just kind of breaks down these different sections that we talked about. And if you liked it, we hope that you try it out and leave us a comment below. Let us know how it went. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, give us some thumbs up, and we hope that you subscribe so we can come at you every single week with about 5 minutes of helpful tips and tricks for increasing collaboration and creativity in your organization. Bye for now.
Do you have any questions or topics you'd like us to tackle? Shoot over an email to hello@collabocreative.com.